Hey, what's going on? This is Neil and AJ, and we're here to discuss some important points for the Lean Buddy vlog. And I have been thinking about this question for a very long amount of time. And Neil, I would love to get your insights on it. Being that, I've been in the training industry for so long, I've come to find that trainers have such discipline in their lives. Discipline for their own training, their own eating, their own healthy lifestyle. But when it comes to their business, they seem to be lacking the discipline to take action, to structure their days, their, productivity. Like, Neil, what insights do you have? Why do you think there's such a disconnect between the discipline in their physical life to their business?
Yeah, that's a great question, AJ. I don't think it's a lack of discipline, just my view on it. We're using the word discipline a lot because personal trainers have a lot of discipline in their lives. So I think the underlying cause of that disconnect between being so good at personal training versus not doing the right things they need to do in their business is because there's some underlying fear that's going on in there. Like, as human beings, we live in two worlds. We live with fear and we live with certainty. So if we go back to prehistoric time, if you're fearful, it's a fight or flight response. You're either there or you're gone. Or if you're certain about stuff, humans always interacted or hang around in groups. Now, here's what usually goes on. As a personal trainer, okay, if you go in and you push weights 3 days a week, 3 days a week, and you have 45-minute segments, there's a certainty built in that you're going to put on more muscle. You're going to look good. You're going to drop weight. Okay? If you get up to in the morning and start a boot camp class and it's 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock and you want to do all the training yourself, there's certainty built up in there. You're going to go there, you're going to go to class, you're going to see a few people, and you're going to get the result you want. So it's instant result, instant gratification. We can see it, therefore we do it. The problem when it comes to building a business or marketing is fear. And my personal perspective is that there's an underlying fear that you may be doing all these things, you may be doing all this work, you may be running around from pillow to post, writing a blog post, putting a video, doing some marketing, writing an email, but there's no outcome because you cannot see an outcome in front of you. It creates uncertainty within you. And when it creates uncertainty, what we tend to do is we tend to go towards the thing that would give us certainty in our lives. And unfortunately, that certainty becomes, hey, I'd rather spend time figuring out what I need to eat in my next meal so I can look better and thinner and greater, and my clients maybe think I'm a good personal trainer because I look so good. Now, don't get me wrong, you need to do those things. Or I maybe need to nap 2 or 3 hours before my next workout session because I need the energy and the strength to do that. That all becomes certainty in their lives. But if you ask a personal trainer, hey, when do you have time scheduled to write a marketing post or write a blog post or to do the business building tactics or get a new client or make a new client call, there's underlying fear in there. If you don't have a system that's actually help you get the result, you're going to find every excuse in the book not to do it. And it's not a matter of discipline, I think. It's a matter of not seeing the result. Therefore, you don't build the discipline to do the things that you want to. That's kind of my view. What's your view that now that you're in the trenches, AJ? What do you think about why trainers don't do the things they should be doing to get the best results for their business?
Neil, you actually brought up a lot of great points, and you actually got my mind to think about myself. When I first was a personal trainer and I just focused on the technical aspects of it, the exercise, the nutrition, basically getting my clients results. And I just initially depended on word of mouth. Now, the economy took a big hit and I was noticing that I wasn't getting as many referrals and my business was going downward. So this led me to understand that I need to do more to market myself, and that what led me to starting a website, getting myself out there, understanding, you know, I guess the fitness marketing dynamics. So I could go back to myself and how I started taking more action in the business aspects of my life. And I feel, for me personally, it was lack of self-confidence, because when I was with my clients one-on-one, I was explaining everything to them, and it came very easily to me. It's very comfortable. But I remember when it came down to exposing myself, when it came to writing articles, creating a video, I had this fear in me that, you know, I would look at a camera and it would take many takes until I got it right. And even writing an article, it would be in front of the blank screen, procrastinating to actually do it. And I guess I initially didn't have the confidence in myself. I had so much confidence in other areas, you know, because like you said, there's a high sense of certainty. I knew that if I trained a certain amount of times a week, that progressively I'm going to get stronger. If I followed a specific eating plan, you know, I'm going to have a physical attribute benefit from it. So it was kind of just this new world that I was exposed to of putting myself out there. And I really feel it was just taking those initial action steps, doing it badly, failing at it, and understanding that you're never going to make a perfect video, you're never going to make a perfect article. However, the more that you do it, the better you get at it and the more comfortable it is. It's kind of like, you know, the first time I ever followed a nutrition plan, and I failed horribly at that. You know, I would follow it for a few days, then my willpower just went down. I would eat, you know, cheeseburgers and pizza, and I would get all down on myself. And over the years, I've learned how to discipline my mind to follow diet plans, to train hard in the gym, to get more results from that. And it's the same thing with your business and marketing methods. You start off doing really crappy, and eventually you add more and more time and experience, and you get better and better at it.
AJ, I'm going to ask you a question here. And that is, why did you make the shift? Why did you feel it necessary to work on some of these business building ideas? What made you have that transformation moment? Because, look, we all get stuck up in our habits and our routines, right? Whether we're training or eating or working out, we're very disciplined at those things. So what made you do that? Say, hey, I need to start trying and failing. I need to work on this, and I need to make it happen. Otherwise, something's going to happen. What was that transformation moment? Because I think it's important for those listening to the call or watching the video, that in order to make a change, there's always a transformation moment. And, you know, it either comes now or it's going to come later. So what was that transformation for you?
For me personally, it was going broke. You know, I was at a point where I couldn't pay my bills. I was depending on only referrals to get clients, and the economy went downhill, and I had no control. So my income was dropping, and I didn't know what to do. It was pure fear. So I got desperate, and I just went on Google, and I discovered the world of fitness marketing, and all of a sudden, like, it made my eyes pop out. But it was a turning point of hitting rock bottom. You know, I had so much pain in myself that I had no control of my finances, and I had this fear of getting a job. So I said, my business is going to be out the window, and I have to get a job, work for somebody else. And now I shudder thinking about it right now. It's just something that till this day I fear. You know, it all happened down to going to rock bottom, being at a point where I couldn't pay my bills. And then all of a sudden I discovered the world of fitness marketing, business building, strategizing, and it blew my mind away because I realized that I had so much control. And I literally put into action a lot of things I learned, and I just, in a sense, month by month increased my income, my profit margin. I guess it all happened in the year of 2008. and it was when I wasn't really doing anything for my marketing, and then it was the original start of the first thing I did was create a website, and not just a regular website, a direct response website. And also I understood that I have to focus on keywords. So I basically not only created a single website, but I created different landing pages to target different keywords. And I guess I figured out the power of the internet and how there were people constantly searching for businesses, personal training, and I learned how to position myself in front of those people. I then took more action in terms of understanding that YouTube is another resource where I could get clients. So I understood that I could put myself in front of people that are searching for personal training advice and local businesses, and I could have videos that targeted those people. So not to go into like every single specific step, but I guess I really just learned that rather than waiting on referrals or people to come into my business, I learned how to put myself in front of them.
Awesome. Excellent. Now, AJ, since we brought up this question, why do people don't do the things they do, and they discipline in one area and the other areas, maybe personal trainers may not be disciplined? How do you build discipline? Or what is the best technique for building that discipline in your business? And I'll give you my take on what I do on a daily basis.
Great question. When I was a trainer initially, a big portion of my life was focused on, hitting the gym, 5-6 days a week, planning and preparing my meals the night before. I was putting a lot of effort into that. And I was focusing the other part of my, discipline on my business. Waking up at 5 in the morning, training my clients, making sure they were okay in that sense. And I really feel that we have a certain amount of discipline and willpower on a daily basis. Now, it's kind of like a resource, like energy. Now, if you use your willpower in a lot of different areas, you're going to be, in a sense, mediocre having discipline in so many different places in your life. So I guess for me, I realized the importance, not just realizing it, I had no choice, I was going broke. So I understood that I had to put more of my willpower and discipline in my business, in my marketing. So what I did was I, decreased a few days out of the gym. I didn't put so much effort on having perfect meals every single day. I focus on the areas that are going to take my business to the next level. So I just made the shift from focusing on myself to focusing more on my business and I guess life as a bigger whole.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay, just some strategies from my perspective. The first thing is when I work and I want to get a result, and it's something that I know may not give me the result, or I'm trying something new in my business, the first thing you do is you got to figure out for yourself and ask yourself, is this worth it? AJ, you spoke about your transformation moment. It was either that or getting a corporate job, right? And the first thing for me is you got to take a leap of faith in what you're doing, because if you don't take a leap of faith in what you're going to do is going to get you a result, you're never going to do it. So, like for me, I start off a lot of new businesses and I help a lot of new clients, especially in the fitness market, and I do the SEO marketing for them. And when the clients typically come for me, I actually do the SEO, the link building, and get them to rank. But I tell them, you have to be the voice of your website. You've got to create content, because without that, customers will not be attracted to you. So the first thing we do is we establish a habit for them. So I'll tell them, you're busy, you've got a lot of stuff going on. In order to establish a habit, you need to go at least 30 days, doing it every single day consistently to get a result. A lot of management gurus talk about, a lot of folks talk about that. Building a discipline at least takes 30 days. So the trick I've done is I find out for myself personally, the way I do this personally, is find out what I can't do during the day. So for me, my passion is reading. I love reading. It gives me a sense of freedom. It gives me a sense of relaxation. I also learn in that time. So because I know the one good thing a day is reading, I'll say to myself, if I'm starting a new project or I need to write content, there's no way I'm going to open up a book today. Absolutely no way until I have one blog post written.
Wow.
Okay, so I can do this in the morning, I can do this in the evening, and I know I'm not going to read because I've committed to that task. And once you start building in the discipline, it works. It was so funny. I'll tell you a quick little story. I spoke to a personal trainer client, and he gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He works out. He has clients during the day. His whole day is busy. He can absolutely get nothing done. So I drilled into it and I asked him, okay, so what is the thing you like? Oh, I like working out, but I don't have time to create the blog post because I work out. You know, whole lot of items that come in your way that will never get you the discipline. So it finally came down to, what do you have for breakfast? And he said, I like eating oats in the morning. So I said, okay. So I drilled it down and said, okay, if you go to the gym, do you have a shower every day? And he said, yeah, I gotta get up and have a shower before I go to the gym. I said, okay, so here's the discipline you put in place. So this is going to sound totally off the beaten track and totally crazy, but just the principle of it. I told him, you cannot have a shower anymore till that first blog post is written. So the first thing you do is you get up. You don't eat, you don't shower, you don't do anything. And the rule is no showering before that first blog post is written, because if you really believe in your heart of hearts that this is so important to you to build and grow your business, okay, that's the rule we put in place. So you can imagine at the start of his day now, he's not even going to the shower till he has his computer turned down, he hits up his blog post. Now he's getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Tough. You know, he's got to get up at 4 o'clock, write that blog post for 20 minutes, and obviously we're going to share some good tips on how you do that later on. Then he goes and has a shower, then he gets to the gym, and his day goes all around. So it's a little strategy or advice, you know, find something that you really like and you cannot do without, and then give yourself a reward by building in the habit. I don't know if that kind of makes sense, but that's how I kind of coach people or do that for myself if I really want to get something done.
Wow, that's a great method, Neil. I mean, that really makes a lot of sense. And actually, I implement a similar thing with my clients that are really focused on weight loss. And, you know, let's say they have a hard time sticking to their diet. I tell them that every month that, let's say, they stick to at least 20 days of their nutrition, they should buy themselves a gift. And I literally give them a calendar and they X out the days. And if they accomplish 20 days of clean, healthy eating, then they are allowed to buy themselves a gift, a reward per se. So this psychologically gives them the burning desire to stay accountable. And that's a great method of rewarding yourself in a sense, you know?
A very good personal trainer, I think it was Sam Bhatia, told me a funny story, and I have to tell the story because I think it'll drive this point home and give people some discipline. So a lady comes into his, and I'm butchering the story now because I don't remember all the exact details. So a lady comes in to his personal training studio and she tells him, I absolutely have to drop weight. Under any condition, I absolutely have to drop, and I can't remember the number, whether it was 10 pounds or 20 pounds of weight. And then he turns around and tells her, okay, so what are you willing to give to do this? I'm willing to give anything. You know, I am willing to give you money if I don't drop the weight. I'm willing to go to the ends of the earth, whatever, because I absolutely have to drop these 20 pounds. Under no circumstances can I not do it, right? So he wanted to test the strength of will and see whether she can do it and whether she's disciplined enough to get the results, because we know what the outcome is if you committed to it. He says, okay, so she was African American, okay? And I thought it was brilliant. So he said, okay, so here's the deal. If you don't lose 20 pounds and if you don't follow the advice that I've given you, the nutrition plan that I've given you, I know you lose 20 pounds. You've got to take $1,000 and donate that to the Ku Klux Klan.
Wow.
I know this is an extreme example. It's probably off the cuff, totally crazy. But, you know, if you want to get results, sometimes you need to do things that you're not really comfortable with it. So the story goes on, and apparently she wasn't that into meeting her goals or priorities, and she backed out of it somehow and didn't want to do that because she felt offended about the Ku Klux Klan. But you know, the principle is that if you really want to do something, if you really want to get out in the rut you're under, the question you got to ask yourself is, are you willing to do whatever it takes, and then find something that totally repels you in every single way. And if you don't do your goal, you know, that's one way of making sure it happens.
That's really funny, Neil. I mean, that is an extreme case, and talk about, you know, really igniting your burning desires, something you hate with all your heart, able to give them money. It was actually really funny because I actually heard Tim Fenriss, the author of the 4-Hour Body, 4-Hour Work Week, he was mentioning basically he gets people to set up escrow accounts on certain donation websites. So let's say if a person is a liberal and they hate George Bush, they have an escrow account that they could set up in George Bush's charity, and if they don't follow through on their nutrition plan, then that money gets donated. So fascinating enough, there are actual ways for you to do that yourself, to create your own accountability systems against you giving your money or your resources to something that you absolutely hate. So that's actually a very, very strong way of holding one's discipline, having a negative reinforcement.
Right. So AJ, so now that we know that focusing on your business and marketing is important to your business, what's one marketing strategy that you are implementing that you know is going to give you results, and take us through how you're doing that, like how you're setting the goals, what it is you're doing, how you're setting the goals, and how you putting this discipline to get the results you need in your business.
Well, Neil, you know, I am a big believer that one should focus on their unique ability. Mm-hmm. The way of communicating their value to people, that is very easy. For me personally, my unique ability is that I can easily create videos.
Okay.
So I am terrible at writing articles. I type super slow with my fingers, and it takes forever. And I can never articulate myself as great through an article as I can through a video. So I have goals of creating videos as much as possible. And for example, you know, we're in December, closing in on the year. Now's the time to, in a sense, start creating some type of value, because you are only going to be appreciated if people see the value that you have in their lives. And the Jim Rohn said it the best. He said, you only get paid for the value that you portray in the marketplace. So if you're not exposing your skills, your passions, your knowledge to people, then in a sense you're giving them a disservice. They're never going to find out that you have it. It's kind of like having a diamond and you put it in your pocket all the time.
Right.
It is no use of anybody. Nobody's going to see it. So you have to put yourself out there. For me, it's videos. So I have a goal of creating a video a day for the next 30 days. And basically I do it for many reasons. One reason is that it gives me a tangible goal. If I say I'm going to make a video a day, then I know that before I go to sleep at night, a video has to be done. Second of all, it is the law of averages. You know, let's say, for example, I'm so focused on making an amazing video that gets a ton of views. Instead of focusing on one power perfect video, I can create numerous videos, and within those, I'll probably get one that gets a lot of traffic, a lot of traction. You know, let's say, for example, if somebody wants to get 3,000 video views, you know, it's very difficult to do one video and get 3,000 views in 1 month. However, a person can do one video a day for 30 days, and even on the low end, if they get 100 views per video, then on the higher end, they're getting 3,000 views from the videos in total. And the great thing about making multiple videos is that each video you could target specific keywords. Mm-hmm. So you could focus on the local keywords, the search terms people are looking for, and make a simple, quick, easy video for that. Make a video, create action, a call to action at the end of it, and you could increase the leads that are coming into your business. The other great thing about, for me personally, is making numerous videos is the whole process of it, because each time you do something, you gain the experience. It becomes better and better and better. The first video you make is going to be a completely different quality than the 1,000th video you make. Mm-hmm. So the whole process of it is going to be beneficial in each and every way. And I'm just saying because I enjoy making videos and they come very easy to me. I could just pull out my camera phone, film them. However, some people don't like to make videos. Perhaps they're really good at public speaking. Okay, so they are better being in front of people. So their goal is to get themselves in front of people as much as possible. If they're great at making articles, creating article content, putting it out on their blog, putting it out to other websites, guest posting on other blogs. Understand what your unique communication ability is and capitalize on that as much as possible.
Right. So how are you scheduling this in? I mean, what specifically where are you getting the topics for your videos, AJ? And how long are these videos? And how are you making sure that at least one gets done? And more importantly, what result are you looking from at the end of 30 days?
Well, okay, first and foremost, getting the topics of them. I really feel that if you are thinking about, creating videos and you're always on the lookout for different topics, it's amazing how many creative ideas come into your mind. I personally, I've been doing this for so long that, when I speak to my clients, a lot of times if they have a question, a light bulb goes off. Wow, I can make a video about this. Awesome. I'm very big on surveying my clients. So I send surveys, or even I'll randomly send out an email. What are you struggling with? Do you have any questions you want me to cover? And these are all potential video ideas. Sometimes I'll go on magazine.com and I'll simply just go in the health section and I'll just read the headlines of the covers of the magazines. And those are giving me a lot of ideas because there's certain trends. If you notice, like there are certain things for holidays, holiday eating, or there's the New Year's resolutions. If it's the summertime, it's about bikinis and beach bodies. So I get my creativity from all over. I feel like if you're focused in on creating, then the ideas are going to come to you. So there's numerous sources. And like I mentioned, as a trainer, you're very, very comfortable giving your clients advice. If they're with you during your training session, they'll actually question you, answer very easily. Now, it's the same way that you answer them one-on-one, is creating that into a type of content that could be seen by many, many people and distributed in a very large scale. So that is how I create content, just from the conversations and just focusing on just finding out different struggles and needs people are having at the current time. My goal in creating numerous videos is, one, to start really getting my keywords searched for and targeted. So I'm trying to expose myself to more and more people. And the end goal of it is bringing in leads into my business. Now, let's say if I'm creating 30 videos and each video, let's say they get 100 views. So potentially there's 3,000 people that are looking, at my videos and potentially taking action. Let's say even on a smaller scale, let's say, 1% of the people follow the call to action and they contact me. That is a lot of leads that I'm bringing in through the door that I never would have had. So I'm a firm believer in just taking massive action, and it doesn't have to be perfect. 80% is better than doing something perfectly. Just get it out there. Fantastic,
AJ. I think you've given away a lot of gems in that little segment about how you research it, the keywords, and this whole idea of massive action. Because what it sounds like is that you're a believer, right? It sounds like in order to move away from uncertainty to certainty, you got to have this belief. And the belief for you is saying, if I create video and if I focus on the keywords of the video, and even if I get a small rate of return, there is going to be an outcome for you, right? And whether it's getting 5 clients or 10 new clients, you can kind of see the destination or the journey along the way, and you put it in. Awesome work, mate. That sounds really brilliant. And I think that's it for today's session. This is Neil and AJ signing out. I hope you got a tremendous amount of value from this. Go ahead and listen to this 2 or 3 times, and leave us your comments. Tell us exactly what's holding you back from taking action, and hopefully we'll address it in the next call.